Assalamualaikum. Today our group will be presenting about a topic on unemployment in Japan.
So hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is NADIAH binti ZAINI. My matrix number is 20236249YZ.
My name is Amira binti Zulkifli. My normal metric is 2023847614.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad NAUFAL FARIZZUAN bin Muhammad ROSDI and my matrix number is 2023 667 174.
My name is Muhammad IZZUDDIN THAQIF bin RUSLAN, matrix number 2023-852-562.
With me again, IZZUDDIN. So, unemployment happens when people who are able and willing to work cannot find jobs. It is an important way to measure how well a country's economy is doing. There are four main types of unemployment: cyclical, frictional, structural, and seasonal. This case study will explain which type of unemployment is affecting Japan. Unemployment in Japan is linked to several economic problems, such as aging population. Japan's population is getting older and fewer babies are being born. This means there are fewer young people joining the workforce. With more retired people depending on a smaller group of workers, the economy struggles to grow and social systems like pensions face pressure. Next is non-regular jobs. Many workers in Japan, including over half of women and most of the workers, have non-regular jobs. These are part-time or temporary positions that pay less, offer fewer benefits, and lack job security. This leads to underemployment where people work but don't earn enough to live comfortably. Next, stagnant wages. Even though Japan has a low unemployment rate, wages have not increased much over the years. Because people earn less, they spend less, which slow down the economy. And lastly, technology replacing jobs. Automation and new technology are taking over many jobs, especially in traditional industries. Older workers and those in non-regular jobs often don't have the skills needed for modern industries, leading to a mismatch between the jobs available and the skills people. So, what is the objectives of this case? First, identify causes of unemployment. We will explore factors like aging population, low birth rates, technology, and rise of part-time jobs, including the impact of COVID-19 on job trends. Next, evaluate current policies. We will assess the success of programs like Abenomics, Womenomics, and training for older workers in reducing unemployment. Next is suggest solutions and recommendations on ways to improve the job stability, address skills gap, and support women, youth, and older workers through reforms and financial measures. And also analyze fiscal policy. We will examine how government spending and tax policies can create jobs and encourage businesses to hire full-time workers.
I will present about background of Japan. First, we have demography of Japan. In Japan, population size is approximately 127.1 million people. For population density, it is about 336 people per square kilometer. In urban areas, much higher densities, especially in Tokyo. Japan faces low birth rates and high life expectancy, where contributes aging trends. For social security pressure, it is strained on system to support a growing elderly population. Next, we go to geography of Japan. In Japan's total land area is approximately 377,970.75 square kilometer. In Japan, about 70% is mountainous and forested. For high population densities in urban areas due to limited flat land, Japan comprises over 6,800 islands and four largest islands, which are Honshu, Hokkaido, Kyushu, and Shikoku. These four islands account for most land area and population. We go to climate in Japan. In 2014, we can see that Japan had various climatic events such as global temperature record, extreme rainfall, sunshine duration, and El Nino condition. For gross deposit product, we can see that economic growth in 2014 is 0.3% growth slower than 1.6% in 2013. Moreover, total GDP in 2014 is 769.7 trillion yen, equals to 4.9 trillion US dollar. For global ranking, Japan position on 29 place out of 169 countries for GDP per person and reflects a good standard of living. Last but not least, we go to Japan national debt. Total public debt Japan in 2012 is 1,894.45 trillion yen, equals to 14.18 trillion US dollar. In Japan, debt to GDP ratio equals to 226.09% of GDP, while debt per person is 70,491,964 yen, equals to 111,181 US
So
dollars.
I will explain about the trending of unemployment in Japan 10 years previous, which is in 2013 until 2023. So here, my slide, I attached the statistic of the unemployment trending in Japan. So unemployment in Japan is defined in accordance with international standards established by the International Labour Organization. So the ILO defined as employment as those who meet the following criteria during a specified reference period. Trending of unemployment rate in Japan 10 years previous. So in 2013 until 2023, employment Japan rate has changed significantly, reflecting economic conditions and responses to global events. So in 2013, the rate unemployment people in Japan remains at 4.04%, indicating a recovery period following the global economic meltdown. So for 2014, the rate fell to 3.59%. It's demonstrating an improvement in the labor of market. While in 2015, its continuing progress result in a decrease to 3.39%. Meanwhile, in 2016, unemployment rate was slightly higher and standing at 3.13%. Meanwhile, 2017, a significant drop, a little bit drop, bringing the rate down to 2.82%. In 2018, the rate dropped to 2.4%, indicating a tightening labor market. In 2019, the unemployment rate reached 2.35%, which is one of the lowest ever recorded in data for Japan unemployment rate. But in 2020, as we know, the whole country and the whole world was attacked by COVID-19 pandemic, caused a slight increase of unemployment rate. So in 2020 is increasing in 2.81% as government assistance help mitigate jobless. So in 2021, unemployment remains stable at 3% despite ongoing recovery efforts in pandemic 2021. In 2022, slight decrease to 2.60%, indicating things are improving. And 2023, Japan unemployment was estimated to be 2.5%, which is maintaining that position among countries with the lower unemployment rate. So in this slides, I will explain about the causes of unemployment rate. For the first point is declining unemployment rate in 2013 until 2019. So the first cause is economic recovery and growth. So economic policies introduced beginning in 2013. So I will explain a little bit about these economic policies was introduced. So these policies were introduced by Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, lead the Japanese government aggressively monetary easing, fiscal stimulus and structural reforms. So this measure increased economic activity and job creation, also contribution to a decline in employment rates. So I will explain about three roles in economics policy. The first role is aggressive monetary policy. In the aggressive monetary policy, it is to combat deflation and stimulate economic growth, which is the Bank of Japan (BOJ) launched a quantitative easing program with a target inflation rate of 2%. So the asset purchase program included the purchase of government Japan's bonds and other financial assets worth approximately 20% of growth rate GDP by mid-2014. So the second one is second row flexible fiscal policy. Its measure included a package worth 20.2 trillion yen in USD is 210 billion USD, with 10.3 trillion yen, which is in USD 80.34 billion allocated for direct government spending. So additional stimulus packages were implemented with a 5.5 trillion yen, 42.9 billion boost in April 2014 and additional 3.5 trillion yen, which is in USD 27.3 billion after the December 2014 election. The third row, which is structural reforms. Its regulatory changes, labor market reforms, and effort to promote workforce diversity were all part of structural reforms aimed at increasing competitiveness. So here, the initiative is women economics, which is increased female labor force participation. So furthermore, it's also encouraging female and elderly participation. Why? It is because Japanese government implemented policies encourage the elderly to join the labor force. The initiative like this, better childcare support and flexible working arrangement encourage more women to enter the workforce. Life expectancy increase. Why life expectancy increase? Because many older people choose to remain or re-enter the job market, contribute significantly to the labor supply. So when they encourage female participation, which is women economics, the second one causes is slight decrease during the COVID-19 within 2020 until 2021. So here, the first one is initial economic shock. Why? This is because national state of emergency is running and applied in 2020, which is COVID-19 pandemic. So during pandemic 2019, the government made direct cash payment also of 100,000 yen in 930 USD. The third point is healthcare support measure. So I will explain about healthcare support measure. So to support COVID-19 patient, the Japanese government has started stabilizing subsidized hospital bed, which is general hospital beds can cost up to 60,000 yen, which is 530 USD per day Each ICU bed costs up 350,000 yen, which means in USD 3,125 USD per day. So during pandemic, Japan provided developing countries with 48 billion yen, which is 440 million USD in grant aid for health and medical equipment. For international cooperation, by end of 2020, Japan had contributed approximately 140 million USD to various United Nations agencies, including WHO, which is World Health Organization, and UNICEF for emergency COVID-19, assistance from international organization. In vaccination donation, Japan has agreed to donate approximately 10 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines to countries in need through international partnership such as COVAX. So the last causes is stabilization and declining in 2022 until 2023. So causes is post-pandemic recovery. In economic growth, it recovered 2021 around 1.7%, which means growth slowed to around 1% in 2022 due to new challenges such as rising inflation and supply chain disruption. But in 2022, a nominal gross domestic product was approximately 4,256 trillion yen, around 4 trillion USD. Forecast for 2023, the economy was expected to grow at 1.9% rate, indicating a slight increase recover as consumer spending and public investment increase.
Next, we will look on what is the effect of unemployment to Japan. Firstly, economic impact. Japan's unemployment rate is low, staying between 2.6% and 4%. This shows a tight job market with many industries like healthcare, technology, and manufacturing facing worker shortage. In 2023, Japan's labor force was about 69.3 million people with 61.2% employed, showing stability despite population challenges. Women's participation in the workforce is growing, reaching 53.6% in 2023, up from 51% in earlier year, helped by better childcare services and work-life balance policies. More elderly people are working past retirement age. By 2023, over 9 million workers over age 60 or older, over 50% of people in their 60s and 30% in their 70s were employed, reflecting changing views on aging and work. To address labor shortage, Japan has relied on foreign workers. By late 2023, there were over 2 million foreign workers, especially in industries like hospitality and agriculture, supported by relaxed immigration rules after COVID-19. Next effect is long-term structural changes. So, Japan's economy faces long-term changes like an aging population and advancing technology, which impact unemployment and the job market. An aging workforce means fewer people available to work, lowering employment levels and productivity. Currently, about 13.5% of the workforce is older, and as fewer young people join the workforce. This is because birth rates are at a record low of 1.2%. Japan increasingly depends on older workers. This can lead to skill mismatches between jobs and available workers. Technology also brings both challenges and opportunities. Automation and digital tools are replacing some jobs while creating new ones in fields like IT and healthcare. For instance, e-commerce growth has reduced retail jobs, but tech-related roles have expanded significantly.
Generally, fiscal policy involves the use of government taxation and spending to influence the economy with a primary focus on employment, inflation control, economic growth, and demand for goods and services. In Japan, fiscal policy has been particularly important in addressing challenges such as slow economic growth, an aging population, and persistent deflation. The concept of fiscal policy was developed by British economist, which is John Maynard Keynes, who emphasized its role in stabilizing the economy during the crisis. For instance, during the COVID-19 pandemic, governments around the world, including Japan, significantly increased spending to support business, protect jobs, and also stimulate economic recovery. I will talk about expansionary fiscal policy. Generally, fiscal policy has been a key tool to stimulate the economy during period of stagnation, such as Japan's lost decade in the 1990s and the aftermath of the global financial crisis in 2008. During this time, the Japanese government increased the deficit spending significantly, exceeding 5% of GDP between 1993 and 2000, in an effort to revive economic growth and combat deflationary pressure. In this slide, in fiscal 2030, Japan's government spending was divided between the national government, which allocate 96.1 trillion yen, and local government, which spent 69.6 trillion yen, that demonstrating the significant role of both levels in managing the country's fiscal policy. However, total fiscal 2030 taxes was 86.6 trillion yen for both national and local taxes, because the government need to increase spending to restore the country economy. Fortunately, Japan also used contractionary fiscal policy. This fiscal policy can also involve on reducing government spending or raising tax to control inflation, manage public debt, or slow down overheated economy. In Japan, this approach was evident through increasing in the consumption tax from 3% to 5% in 1997, from 5% to 8% in 2014, and finally from 8% to 10% in 2019. And see on this slide, in 2019, government spending was 101.5 trillion yen for their infrastructure and also allocated to the preparation for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. However, tax revenue in 2019 was 60.2 trillion yen. There are consumption tax raised from 8 to 10% for social security and education funding. This also increased revenue from tax hikes. This fiscal policy spending is more than tax received in 2019. It is because of the Olympic preparation at huge expenses.
So what we can conclude is Japan actually has a strong economy, managing steady growth despite challenges like unemployment. With a population of 124.3 million in December 2023, Japan remains a global leader in industries like manufacturing, which drives its economy. Unemployment in Japan changes over time due to factors like global events such as COVID-19 and structural issues like a shrinking labor force and advancing technology. These challenges have led to problems like underemployment and job insecurity, particularly for non-regular workers, women and older people. While Japan's low unemployment rate shows economic stability, issues like non-regular jobs and skill mismatches hinder long-term growth and affect workers' well-being. Solving this problem requires strategy to create a fair and stable job market. First, fiscal policy, which involves government spending and taxes, can actually help reduce unemployment and boost job creation. Japan can take action such as supporting women in the workforce through initiatives like Womenomics, offering training programs to help older workers gain new skills, encouraging businesses to provide stable, full-time jobs, aligning education with industry needs to fix skill gaps. By addressing these issues, Japan can build a more inclusive and resilient labor market that benefits everyone.
Thanks for watching our video presentation. Bye!